You know, it's actually kind of impressive that Tron Morbius managed to get made at all, considering Tron Legacy didn't exactly break the box office. But when you watch this movie, you can't shake this feeling that everyone on the screen is actively wondering why they're there.
Biodigital jazz, man.
At the risk of dating myself,
kinky,
stuff it, I saw the original Tron in theaters back in 1982, and as a kid it was like manna from heaven, but besides the cutting-edge special effects and the cool soundtrack, it was about fun. You were living in a video game, for Christ's sakes. But since there were no toys to do the job adequately at the time, me and my friends would just play Tron with what we had to work with, mainly frisbees. I can tell you right now, Tron Morbius is not going to inspire kids to run around outside whipping frisbees at each other just like we did. I mean, sure, the special effects are absolutely spectacular, especially in 3D. The Nine Inch Nails soundtrack is epic, and if anything, it's kind of the dominant character in the entire movie. But the bizarre casting and scripting is so paper thin that everyone just seems to be wandering around, wondering why they're there.
Including the audience.
So, bearing in mind, we went and saw it on opening weekend in IMAX, and there were a grand total of 9 people in our big, massive theater.
Big, massive. Really?
But the TLDR version is that all of the stuff that was set up in Tron Legacy with Korra and Flynn's son and all of that's out the window just so they can reset this IP to match all of the others with the boring cookie cutter Disney garbage of straight white guy, bad, diverse boss girl, good.
It's all in the rest.
Yeah, this tech bro villain trope is getting kind of old too.
Despite the killer visuals, if you do go see this movie and you close your eyes, you'll find that the ham-fisted dialogue and the constant exposition dumps will still describe everything that you see that's happening. Like they've thought ahead and designed this for people who are just going to be second screening their viewing of the film on Disney+. You know, if I had $1 for every time I said the phrase on this channel, the actors did the best they could with what they were given. I would be my own bratty rich tech bro.
Gag me with a running egg beater.
But unlike most of those other movies that I used that phrase on, this one has the most bizarre casting I've seen in quite a while. In fact, it's so bizarre, I feel like I'm seeing signs of contractual obligations being fulfilled as opposed to casting the best people for their roles. For example, the main antagonist from the cyberworld is played by Jodie Turner-Smith, who most of you will remember as the evil lesbian space witch from The Acolyte.
Power of one, the power of two, the power of many.
Another example is the bizarre split-second appearance of Cameron Monaghan, who is also from the Star Wars universe. Primarily, he's in the Jedi Survivor game series as Cal Kestis. And I know there's been several failed attempts at trying to get his character into the live-action Star Wars universe that have not panned out. But when he pops up in Tron Morbius for only a few seconds, I mean, and they make a point of showing you him, it feels like there was a lot more with this character that was cut out of the film, or it was a contractual concession because something else didn't work out, maybe with the Cal Kestis thing. But across the board, the casting was just weird. That's the only word I can think to describe that. Jared Leto, that was a weird choice, especially when you kind of consider his baggage. Gillian Anderson, which was a good choice, but her role is completely wasted. It's like she was the mother of the bad guy. She actually would have made a better bad guy, a better girl boss, but she was just there. Hassan Minhaj from The Daily Show, Greta Lee as Eve, she's kind of wooden through most of the film, and there's this one point of joy at the very end where it looked like she was having an orgasm instead of expressing joy. It bounced me right out of the story. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? What are you doing, girl?
Either way, I'll have what she's having. And don't forget, Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross as F-35 pilots.
9 Inch Nails, man.
Now that's not fair. If anything, their cameo should have been a little more prominent, like Daft Punk's when they did the Tron Legacy soundtrack in 2010. The plot is borderline nonsensical. Eve goes to a remote workstation in Alaska to try and find the permanence code so that things they bring into the real world from the cyber world last longer than 29 minutes. She finds it, loses it, then discovers it was actually in her office building the entire time in a replica of Flynn's office. This movie also kind of suffers from the same problem girl boss movies typically suffer from, in that there's no character development. They don't go through an arc. Jared Leto's character, yeah, he does go through an arc. He does have a journey. Eve, who's ostensibly the main character of this movie, she goes through no arc. There's no change from beginning to end. We know nothing about her other than she somehow got Sam Flynn's job for personal reasons, and she had a sister who died. But her entire identity seems to be this trauma. Well, if we take that trauma away from you, who are you? She's an NPC, basically, which in this movie is kind of ironic. Here is my bottom line. If you go, see it in IMAX 3D, spend the little extra money. It's a spectacle, but don't look at it too closely. It falls apart even under the most casual inspection. But it's still a Tron movie, which means you're dealing with lore that is so convoluted it makes blockchain look simple, but special effects and a soundtrack that will push you into your seat like an angry Lamborghini. If you can overlook the nonsensical plot, not to mention the fact that Tron himself even isn't in his own movie.
Which is kind of like Sony making Spider-Man movies without Spider-Man. And one of those was Morbius.
Then you might have a good time. As fundamentally flawed as this movie is, it also may be the best thing that Disney has done all year. And ladies and gentlemen, the bar is that low. End of line.